Welcome back to Celebrity Radio. It's Alex Belfield talking to my favourite people and some of the world's biggest stars. And it's fair to say that the one musical you can't fail with is Jersey Boys. And the man who really brought this show to life and, in my opinion, made it the success it is today, Lloyd Young, is now in the West End at the Piccadilly. He's reopened the show in a brand new theatre and I'm delighted to talk to him. How are you?
I'm well, and I'm so happy to be in London. This is a dream of a lifetime.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because everybody in the West End dreams of getting to Broadway, and it seems to me all the Broadway people dream of doing proper theatre in the West End.
I think you're probably right. In America, we respect and admire the British tradition of theatre very much, and so it definitely is a very high honor to play a British stage.
Tell me what it's like being you, because what's interesting is that you've really been defined by this role as Frankie Valli, and it's a good role to be defined by because A, you have to act your socks off, B, you have to sing probably bigger and better than any other star in the West End or on the Broadway stage, and C, it's a bloody great show, isn't it?
I think it's a fantastic show. I think you're hitting the nail right on the head. It's a perfect cocktail of all the things that an actor and an audience love. You get to see a character start in humble circumstances and achieve his wildest dreams, then lose his ground and regain it. And so it's a wonderful character arc. It's great to play somebody who was already world renowned before I stepped into his shoes, but to sort of revitalize the legacy and bring it to a new audience as well was a real privilege.
I've interviewed many Frankies around the world on Broadway in West End and in Las Vegas as well, where it's currently playing and to sell out shows. And I always say to the people that play this role, you can't fake it. This is a show that has to be sung through entirely. There's two things that amazes you. One, you sit there and go, oh my God, I didn't realize they did that, that and that. And then you sit marveling at your falsetto. What is it? How do you describe your voice? Because it's very high, isn't it?
It is, and Frankie would tell you this also, that the best high falsetto singers are actually, technically as singers, baritones. I don't know what it is, but one of my voice teachers said it has something to do with the resonance of the voice. The lower that you can go, the higher you can reach in your falsetto. So if you have a falsetto, oftentimes you're a baritone.
And again, this show crescendos. It's not as if there's one 11 o'clock number. There's about 11 o'clock numbers. You really get to shine, and it must be amazing for you. I just think this is probably the greatest show to be in if you want to be a rock star, because you get hit after hit after hit to sing, don't you?
Well, yes, and in every single time that I step on the stage in this role, I become a rock star. The character becomes, and we see that process. So it's by the end of the show, he's the legendary Frankie Valli. At the beginning, he's just a guy nobody knows named Frankie Castelluccio.
That's right, and what I love about it is it's not nice, this show. This ain't Disney, this hasn't got giraffes in it. This is a real story of quite dark people that had to go through some quite dark things to get to where they became.
Well, it's that delectable sort of American mythology of the East Coast working class Italian American experience, right? The mafia sort of edged experience where you've got guys from the wrong side of the tracks with a dream, and through true grit, albeit East Coast style true grit, they achieve everything they dreamed of.
The relationship between Frankie and Bob, I think, is fascinating. It's a 50-50 deal of Frankie is the voice and Bob is the genius behind the music. And what I love is the sentiment that you're left with at the end is that it was all done on a handshake. There was never a contract written. It was all about trust and friendship. That's gone in showbiz now. You would never do that today. And even this musical, The Jersey Boys, was done on a handshake. There's no contract.
Yeah, well, they've had that relationship. It's a very special relationship, but I'll tell you, it does happen in showbiz today. I have that relationship with my manager, and we've done very well together. So, I guess it depends on the personalities involved, or maybe I was just influenced by Frankie and Bob.
Maybe you were, because when you meet these guys, there's something special about them. I don't know whether you feel it as well. The chemistry that they have is so rare, and in this cutthroat business of show business today, you can't really trust many people. They have undying trust, don't they? And that's what you sort of learn from this show, is if you have a bond and a connection, it's worth going with. And of course, that's what created the 4 seasons, and ultimately this musical, which I'm sure you feel has made your life, because you're so well renowned for it. And of course, the next chapter in this book is the movie, and you're involved in that as well.
Yeah, it's funny. Frankie and I never knew each other before this show opened, but now we'll be connected forever. and we've become very friendly over the years. That we actually spent time together on the movie set, watching in awe as Clint Eastwood directed this movie.
Why you? I mean, John, I look at your career, I look at your CV, I look at your face on the internet. I mean, why you? Do you sit there at night and think there's probably a million people around the world could do this role and they chose you?
I think that there are certain things in an actor's life that are tailor-made for them, and not every actor finds them, except I did. And I think that the Jersey Boys and I were lucky to find each other. And not everyone believes in fate or destiny, but I think in many ways I was born to play this part. That Frankie and I have a lot in similarities in terms of the kind of men we are physically, our voices, and I think that that when you consider the special cocktail of qualities that an actor has to have in order to portray a real person that we all know, short of stature, a high voice, able to tap that energy of the East Coast kind of energy, that Frankie and I are connected that way. And no, I don't think there are many people who could play the part. I'm glad, though, as you're alluding to, that I was the one who got chosen.